The space behind me used to be a closet, but about 5 years ago we ripped it out, put a desk in there, and I've been working at it ever since. And if you've been with me since that original minimalist desk setup, you might be wondering, what about all the other desk setups you've done since then? Like, I've done a whole bunch. Here's the thing, well, some of those others are in the office and the studio. I would say this is definitely the one that I've spent the most time at, editing photos, editing videos. I've sat at this small little desk more hours than any other. So let's take a look at the tools and accessories I use to get our creative jobs done. This video sponsor is Logitech, and I've been using their accessories forever for tons of my creative jobs, so happy to show you how some of their tools can be integrated into your creative workflows. Let's start with the basics. I'm using a 16-inch MacBook Pro with an M4 Max chip. I'd say for most photography work, the M4 Max is overkill. It's more than you need, and you could get most work done even on an M4. But the M4 Max really comes in handy for video and does accelerate your workflows a lot. If you want to know more, stick around till the end of the video. I'll have a link to my MacBook buyer's guide. The monitor is Apple's 27-inch studio display. It has been fantastic. I love the build quality on this. I love that you can kind of just trust it and use it, and the colors look great. I did spend most of the past 5 years working on that LG Ultrafine 27-inch that I showed off in the previous video. Like, that lasted, I kept using it. There's nothing wrong with it right now, but it's really the build quality on the new Apple display. Like, it feels more cohesive. I like that it feels sturdy on my desk, but in terms of actual display quality, it's not a huge jump forward. I'm kind of hoping they give us a more serious update soon. The color accuracy, the sharpness, that's all great, but I would like a little more of a contrast ratio for HDR content because the MacBook Pro display is brighter. I mean, it's just weird that I look over to the smaller screen when I want to see HDR, so I'd like to see that on the studio display. My mouse, as always, is the MX Master. I've been using this series ever since college, and I don't think I'm ever going to change, but this is a new one. It's the MX Master 3S. It has lots of custom buttons, an ergonomic form factor, a great scroll wheel that you can switch to scroll even faster, infinitely if you want. On the bottom, there's a button to switch which device you're connected to. You can have up to 3 at a time, jump between them with a quick press. But now my favorite new feature, I think this is what the S stands for. Here's the MX Master 3 and the 3S. The 3S is insanely quiet. It still has a sturdy click feel. You absolutely know when you've pressed it, but it doesn't have that loud, distracting clicking sound. Also, the new one is higher resolution. They can both work on virtually any surface. Great mouse. The keyboard is the MX Keys Mini, which fits perfectly in this small area. It's designed specifically for Mac, so it has all the right shortcuts, everything you want. The keys feel great, very precise as you're typing, and there is a backlight as well that is automatic. So as you approach the desk, it'll subtly light up for you. Below that mouse and keyboard is a desk pad. This is the medium size, made by Bololo, and so is all the other stuff behind it, like the little extra shelf that I added. And this is probably the biggest cleanliness change that I made. My desk has looked so much better ever since I did this, just because it's always more organized. It's called the Setup Cockpit Monitor Stand, and it is also in medium. It's a little hard to tell on their website how the sizes are going to work out, so definitely measure a few times before you buy it. Like, at first, I actually tried to buy their laptop riser, and it ended up totally not fitting in this space, but I couldn't tell from the website, so I can't use it. Instead of using the 12 South monitor stand that I've shown in some previous videos. Now, it has a whole bunch of different screw holes to attach different accessories, and I'm using the tray below it, and these little drawers are called catch-all trays, which effectively become micro junk drawers. But it's nice for those really small accessories that you might use often. Like, they're right in front of me, but they're in this tiny little tray. It's been great. Way less clutter on my desk. Then the other killer accessory, like, I didn't know I needed this in my life till I had it, is the phone holder, which screws to the bottom, and you just put your phone there. It's like compatible with everything. There's a slot in the bottom so you can plug your phone in and charge while it's sitting there and you're watching TikTok. You can rotate it sideways so you can be watching YouTube. Like, it not only gives a place where you can see your phone when you're working, but also it just feels less cluttered than when it's just sitting on the desk. It's like one less thing on the desk. Instead, it has a spot. The chair is the Herman Miller Cosm, and if it looks familiar, it's because it is also over at the office, but got another one for here because it's just the best chair possible. Like, comfort, quality, aesthetics, like, these are very legitimate chairs. Herman Miller is a legend in the design world, so I can't recommend them more, but they are a little pricey. And the desk, I don't want to give too much attention to because I'm sure it's not available anymore, but it is from West Elm. Another more recent addition is the MX Creative Console. This comes with 2 different pieces. There is the dial pad and the keypad. and they work together to accelerate tons of different creative workflows. So the keypad is kind of a macro pad. Like we've seen a few of these before, but it is very well executed. And one thing I like is that most things are already programmed into it, especially the whole Adobe Creative Suite, like Photoshop and Lightroom and Premiere and Illustrator. They already have keys bound to the most commonly used things, so you don't have to start from scratch and create a whole layout. It's like ready to go. Obviously, you can customize it as much as you want. These little RGB displays can show anything on them, so you can really dig in pretty deep in terms of what they're able to do. But right out of the gate, you can install some of these creative plugins and just get started using it. And actually, when you buy it, you get a free 3 months of all of the Creative Cloud membership as like a little bonus. It also integrates with that dial pad. So that has a big, very smooth primary adjustment dial that ties into whatever feature you want to program it to, and is also program aware. So just like the keypad, as you're switching between, let's say, a bunch of different Adobe applications, it knows which one you're in and it'll give you a relevant adjustment to whatever you're using. Like maybe it's brush size. In Lightroom, it's navigating through images. I've got it programmed for Final Cut Pro, so it scrubs through the timeline. Then there's also a small little fluid roller. This is going to do things like zooming in and out or scrolling. And then there are 4 customizable buttons you're probably going to want to use for things you do all the time, like undo and redo or things like that. And as you dig deeper and want to customize all these things, you're going to do it with the Logi Options Plus app, which is so well designed. It is super smooth, easy to use. And the nice thing is it knows about all of your other Logitech devices, so you have one place to edit all of those settings in a really clean, unified interface. Now over to the side, I've got the Glyph Black Box Pro RAID, which is a 40 terabyte storage system that I love. It was featured in the last desk setup video that I did over at the office, but I've been using it so much that now I've kind of got it at my main desk here, and it is incredibly fast. Uses Thunderbolt, and this is just kind of my quick archiving system for things that aren't that old, but I might need to access in the next year or two. And then I also have like an offsite NAS. For my portable working drive, I'm using the Glyph Atom Pro Thunderbolt NVMe drive. It is a super fast SSD that just rips, and it's 8 terabytes. I love not waiting for external storage. It feels really good. I do try to store as much as I can internally for like my working copies, and then keep external for backup when possible, because things just are faster stored locally, but you can only have so much local storage. It's very expensive from Apple, so it's much more affordable to get a super high quality external SSD that's just really fast. And then there's one other part of the backup solution here. You can see on the desk, there is a little stack of traditional hard drives. Each one is 5 terabytes. I buy a new one for every year for photo and a new one for video. Those are also backed up to the NAS, so this is all redundant. It's just faster to access these USB versions than to go to the NAS. A big weakness of the Studio Display is its webcam. It's just not very good. It's like tiny little sensor, ultra wide, and just HD that is grainy, and like I don't like it. I wish they had done something different in there. So I've got a huge upgrade on top of the monitor. It is the MX Brio. It is a 4K webcam, which there's been 4K webcams for a while, but this one is a lot better. It has a larger sensor, and you can see that difference in the image quality. Just renders colors much better. Everything looks sharper. It's a better camera. Here's a sample of the webcam and microphone on the Apple Studio Display. These are just built in. The audio is never great in here because I am inside a little closet, so I don't expect it to be all that good. And here's a sample of the MX Brio. I think what jumps out at me about the image quality most is the color reproduction is just much better, a lot better contrast ratios. It is sharper as well, but I often find like sharpness isn't the most important thing. It's just that things look natural. Like, I don't know, it doesn't have that webcam look. I also did the tests in a very low light environment, which happens all the time. I'm just being lit by my monitor. And you can see, again, the Brio has a much better looking image than the built-in webcam. And a very cool privacy feature with a fully mechanical shutter that you can see closing and covering the lens entirely, so you know for sure when your webcam is off. And that's it, a lot packed into a very small space. And if you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in the video, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.